Hi artists, Miss Miller here. Today I'm going to give you a quick lesson on how to take and edit photos of your artwork. Taking and editing photos of your artwork requires a couple additional considerations instead of just taking a regular photo of yourself or your friends. So the first thing is to think of what camera you have access to that is the best quality. I would choose whatever is newest, whether that's your iPad or your phone. If you have a DSLR, obviously you can use that. But a phone should be fine if that's all you have. The next thing to consider is the location that you are taking your photo. You need to get optimal, even lighting. Okay, so here's the artwork that I want to take a photo of. And a mistake that people make commonly is actually choosing too bright of a space or too direct of a light source. So right here, I'm getting light from behind and also from the side. I want to find a space where the light is more even. Another common mistake people do is they want to put the photo somewhere under a very bright light. So I have a desk lamp here, putting it under here. If I did that, it kind of blows out the photo and could also potentially cause a glare or reflection. That's very difficult to fix. So you actually want to take your photo outside, and the best weather to do that in is actually kind of like today where it's sort of cloudy outside and overcast. Now, if it's a sunny day, you could also try to go somewhere just in the shade. If it is raining, you can take it inside, but I would recommend also finding an area in your house that is not super bright and where there's no artificial lighting. So that might be okay. In my kitchen floor, the lighting is somewhat even and my paper's laying flat. What I recommend doing is taking the photo in different places and then you can kind of compare the results. Okay, so since it's not raining today and we have the perfect conditions outside, we're gonna go take this outside. Okay, so far we talked about finding the appropriate lighting and using the appropriate camera. Now we're gonna talk about using the best angle to take your photo, because this is really hard to fix when you're editing. A lot of people take a photo like this. Do you see the angle? It's sort of going back and getting narrow towards the top. Like I said, that's very difficult to fix unless you're using a more complex editing program like Photoshop. So what I recommend is really trying your best to get the perfect angle. So trying to make sure that it's flat and even and you're not getting a lot of warping like that or like that. Now, because I'm doing a video, I have this in horizontal mode, but because my picture is like this, that's the orientation I'd want to take the photo. At least take 3 to 5 photos. So once you get back inside, you can look at the photos that you took and choose which one is the best. Make sure you're looking at the lighting and the angles and the straight lines. You want to have 4 right angles as best as you can. So looking through these, I actually think the lighting is best in the last one. So that's the one I'll choose, and I'm going to send it over to my iPad. You can edit on your phone if you'd like, but I just think it's easier to do on a larger screen. So up to you. It's the same exact app that you'll edit on, which is the Photos app. Okay, so now I'm on my iPad and I'm going to open up my photos, and I should have the image that I just airdropped to myself. So that's right here. Okay, and now I'm just going to press a button that says Edit on the top right. The first thing I want to do is to straighten and crop. That tool is on the left-hand side on the bottom. Okay, now sometimes it automatically straightens it for you. You don't really want to allow it to do that. So again, you can kind of adjust within this, trying to get your corners as right-angled as possible and your lines as straight as possible. So once you get it kind of set in there, then you're going to do the crop. And to do that, you just drag in the corners. You don't want to do it to the widest area on your artwork. You want to bring it in so that you cut off the background. Okay, so I think it's good to do one at a time. Okay, and you don't want to cut off too much, so that's why it's really important to get the angle right when you're shooting. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. So I'm just going to go ahead and press done. And then I have to press edit again to open up those features. Okay, so now you'll notice on the right-hand side, you have a bunch of different tools. I'm going to sort of walk you through each one. You do not have to use all of them, but I do recommend opening each one, trying it out to see what it does. You do want to adjust the brightness. While you're doing this, have your artwork next to you so you can compare. The goal of editing your photo is not to necessarily enhance your photo or enhance your artwork and make it look better than it is in real life. You are trying to get the most accurate image of your artwork. So that's why it's helpful to have your artwork next to you. Okay, so the first thing when I'm looking at my artwork and looking at my photo, I notice that my photo is a little bit dark. So, oops, I pressed auto by accident. You don't want to do that. That adjusts everything for you and you have less control. So, sorry. So the first thing, exposure. So notice when I drag it down, it darkens it. When I drag it up, it lightens it. So I'm just going to do mine a tiny bit brighter. Okay, that looks good. Next one is brilliance. Now I'm not exactly sure how brilliance and exposure are different. They kind of seem similar. But again, just play around with the slider bar and see as you move it, how it gets closer to the actual artwork itself. So I'm just going to keep mine at 0. Highlights. This is a way to pull out the lightest parts of your photo and make those brighter. So again, when I'm looking at my actual artwork, I do notice that my highlights are brighter than what I see in the digital image. So I'm just going to go a little bit to pull those highlights out. Next one is shadows. Same thing. This is going to deepen your shadows. When I'm looking at my artwork and the image, I think my shadows are actually pretty accurate. Again, you can play around just to see, but I think 0 was good. Now contrast kind of takes both shadows and highlights together. If your photo is looking good in terms of the contrast and you have a range of darks to light, you don't need to do contrast. Brightness again is similar to exposure. Play around if you'd like. Okay, saturation is the like the vibrancy of the color. My image is actually more saturated than my artwork, so I'm not going to do that one, but there are times when your image will be less saturated, so you will need to adjust that one. Okay, warmth, just think of warm as like a warm color, sort of a golden sunlight. If you need to adjust that, you can. Dragging it down makes it more blue, dragging it back up makes it more reddish and yellow toned. So I'm going to reset that to 0. Tint. Now, for my image in particular, when I look at my artwork, I notice that my artwork is a lot more gray and greenish than the colors I'm seeing in the image. The image that I'm seeing is more like purpley blue. So I am going to play around with this. So I want to get less purpley blue and more sort of grayish green. Okay, now it's looking a lot more accurate to my artwork itself. So once you get that right, you can move on to the next one. Sharpness, you'll see what happens when I adjust this. And kind of adjust the sharpness of the texture. Sometimes you'll want that, but in my case I don't. Definition, again, sort of like edges and defining the edges of things. I don't really need that either. Noise reduction, so this is sort of like a blur if you have too much definition. Notice how my image is just kind of softening and getting more blurry. And then vignette, we don't really want to use this, but I will show you what it does. It sort of draws, I think this is on Instagram too, it sort of creates like a circular frame of dark around it, like a soft circular framing device. For artwork, you don't want to use that. Okay, so again, compare your image on your screen to the artwork itself. When you get it as close as you can, you're going to press done. Then you can go ahead and send this to Google Classroom, where you will post it to the assignment.